You know what's great about listening to amazing people just like Dan is it gives you the opportunity to fill up notebooks really, really quickly. Anybody take some nuggets down?
Whoa!
Whoa.
You took copious
Is that all your
notes.
nuggets?
Thank you, Dan.
Juliet, are you?
Scott, you talk.
I was like, my dad's business.
Oh yeah,
I
the
forgot I had
expo.
Lee's flyers in there. That was all of the handwritten notes, like first slide on what you guys watched today. Isn't that cool?
Nice.
So that's how it starts, right? So anyhow, I took some great notes. I'm sure you did too. And this notebook is filled with some really great stuff. So I hope you guys are documenting all of your learning opportunities. Well, Dan, you did it again. You exceeded our expectations, and it was really captivating. Such great stuff. I really appreciate what you shared.
I was just hoping to bask in the glow of my mediocrity.
Well, you did that at least.
Yes. Hey, big bucks. And then there's one more. Oh, you got it. Okay. Yeah.
Buy dinner.
Yeah, those are some big markers.
Those are
I
some
didn't.
big markers, big bucks.
Big bucks.
Hey, if you're online right now, would you go in the chat bar and type in your favorite topic or moment that you just experienced with Dan Gibbons? Just go in the chat bar and put that down for us right now. Your favorite moment, your favorite topic, your favorite lesson that you took away from Dan. So we're going to go, we've gone back and forth a little bit today between business skills and business knowledge and product knowledge and education. So we're going to close out the day with Ben Fuchs. And Ben Fuchs is here someplace, I believe. And Ben Fuchs has been serving in a huge capacity with us here at Longevity for many years. He's been on the scientific, medical, and advisory board. His background is pharmacy, and so he has a really in-depth knowledge and comprehension of what drugs do, pharmaceutical drugs do to our bodies, and how that correlates to nutrition or not. And you know, one time he really opened my mind quickly when he made this comment. He said, you know what? I've had to be around a lot of people that make drugs. He said, if you think about it, every drug, whether it's legal or illegal, they're all 100% mind-altering substances. And another thought for you is, if you've ever heard a commercial, and by the way, how often do these pharmaceutical ads run on TV? Aren't they like incessant? And they just keep on coming up with more ridiculous, vile, disgusting, inappropriate topics constantly. And it's like pretty soon we're going to have to put censors on for like children to watch TV anymore. It's insane. So here's an experiment for you. Next time a drug ad comes on TV, I want you to do something. I want you to close your eyes. Don't watch the ad because it's trickery. You know what magic is? It's illusion of presence. And so what these ads do is they'll show you everything pleasant. Beautiful people, vacations, experiences, scenery, beaches, socializing, people laughing, having fun, hard bodies, beach bodies. They show you all these things that we're very visual creatures. And it's distracting to what you're actually hearing. So all they want you to hear is the name of the drug and see that that drug is associated with something pleasant. In fact, there's nothing pleasant about it at all most of the time. We have medical people sitting here right now, and they can vouch for this. When you administer drugs, it impacts you. They call them what? Side effects. And there's an average, I think it was Ben who shared this with you, there's an average of like 25 side effects for every drug that you take. So how many people do you know that are on 2 or 3 medications, and these side effects are just compounding one after another? And you as nurses know you administer these things by the truckload to people. Not your fault, you're just doing what you're told to do. However, it's crazy. And so next time you hear a drug ad or watch a drug ad, actually listen to it. Close your eyes, and you won't be distracted by anything, and all you'll hear is possibility of this, chance of this, and it's like incontinence, impotence, internal bleeding, diarrhea, headaches, vomiting, nausea, what is it?
Death.
Thoughts of suicide. I mean, there's a great one. I mean, it doesn't end. And so who in their right mind, honestly, Ben, we're talking about you, who in their right mind would just voluntarily say, oh yeah, sign me up for that? Who gives the right to go around prescribing things that you outright know is going to be harmful to the body? And there's nobody that knows this subject better than Ben Fuchs. And so he just stepped back into the room. Thank you for saving the day. I thought I was doing this long introduction. I was getting longer and longer just so I could buy you some time. But I'm so glad that he's here. He is a wanted speaker all over creation. People want to hear what he has to say because he's an expert on this topic. And I think by the time he's finished, your jaw might be on the floor. You might have to pick it up a little bit. But do me a favor. He took time out of a very busy traveling and speaking schedule to be here today. We twisted his arm. Please help him feel welcome. Mr. Ben Fuchs.
I'm not mad at anybody. Hello out there. So check out what I got. I always travel with this stuff.
Money?
No, because I just love to learn things. I just love, when you learn something new, you get a surge of something called dopamine. Ever heard of dopamine? Dopamine is your get up and do something chemical because it's associated with what's known in the biochemistry field as reward. Everything we do is for reward. Hey, everything we do is for reward chemistry. It's to activate our reward system. And our reward system is based in chemistry. And that the main chemical that triggers the feeling of reward is called dopamine. We learned about dopamine in pharmacy school. Dr. Winston, I'm sure knows what I'm talking about here. But dopamine is just now starting to become, in the next 5 or 10 or 15 years, you're going to hear more and more about it, a darling of the self-help world, because it's being recognized that everything we do is to get this surge of reward chemical, the surge of dopamine that makes you feel like you just won the lottery. It's like, do you guys like pistachios?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you notice they had, last few years they've had these pistachios that are shelled for you in a bag, right? And I love pistachios. So when they first came out, I went crazy. I was like, oh my God, I got these pistachios, I'll just shell them. And I would buy them by the bag and I dig into them and I noticed that there was something just not totally satisfying about the experience. Even though I had all these pistachios and they were all open for me, and I realized that every time you open a pistachio, you get a surge of dopamine. You get a surge of happy chemicals, of reward chemicals. Your body, from a biological and biochemical standpoint, says, yippee, I just won the lottery. The feeling that you get of winning the lottery, or the feeling you get of getting something for free, or the feeling that you get from succeeding in anything that's associated with the chemical dopamine, kicks in when you open a doorknob, when you take a step, a successful step, when you open a pistachio nut, when you learn something new, you get a surge of dopamine. And everything we do in our life is to get dopamine from a unconscious perspective. If we start to leverage dopamine from a conscious perspective, we will be so much better in our lives, and we'll be so much less likely to be addicted, and we'll be so much less likely to be depressed and not feel good, because now we know we can just turn on our dopamine. A simple way to turn on your dopamine is to finish a project. A simple way to turn on your dopamine is to break a habit. A simple way to turn on your dopamine is to help somebody. A simple way to turn on your dopamine is to succeed in your business opportunity, in your successful passion, whatever that is, whatever you decide you want to make your success passion. So what I'm going to talk about today is about how you can succeed in the multi-level business using CBD and using nutrition. But really what it's about is how can you upregulate a sense of satisfaction in your life? Because if you're making all kinds of money but you don't have a sense of satisfaction, that's not good. If you have a sense of satisfaction in your life and you're not making money, that's fine. And what we really want to do is redefine our goal. Our goal is not to make money. Our goal is to be happy. Our goal is to be content. Our goal is to feel rewarded. Our goal is to feel successful. It's not about making money. And the reason we don't succeed is because we're focusing on the wrong thing. First focus on the contentment. First focus on the happiness. First focus on the reward. First focus on the dopamine. Everything else will follow. If you focus on the money first, it doesn't work. And this is why people fail in the multi-level business. This is why people fail in the success business. Even for all their best intents, if you just focus on the money, it doesn't work. And one of the beautiful things about network marketing is it allows us to be successful in the most primal and fundamental way, and that's by helping others. Helping others is the most fundamental way we feel good. I live downtown Denver, and there's always homeless people, and they're always bumming money, and they're always looking for a dollar. I usually give them money, but every once in a while, I feel like, he looks strong. He doesn't need me. And then invariably, I'll give them money. And I notice when I give people money and they smile back at me, I feel good. They help me. They bumped up my dopamine and my oxytocin and my serotonin and my neurochemistry. So that when we help others, we help ourselves. That's what it means, by the way, in the Bible. It says, love others as you love yourself. Because what it really, people think it means that you have to love others equally as you love yourself. It's not. It's when you love others, you're loving yourself. When you put out love, when you put out kindness, where's that love and kindness going? It's not going to the other person. Your cortisol's dropping. Your dopamine's going up. Your blood pressure is improving. Your immune system is functioning more effectively. And network marketing gives us an opportunity to do this. If you want one success tool for network marketing, for this business, right? Become an expert in something. I love it. I crack up when people think I'm smart, because I am not smart. I know a lot, but there's a difference between knowing a lot and being smart. I have made myself an expert. I made myself an expert because I actually loved what I was doing, and that's the secret to becoming an expert. You have to love what you're doing. If you hate math, you're not going to be, it's going to be tough sledding to try to be an expert in physics. But if you love cooking, you can become an expert in food. If you love health, you can become an expert in working out. If your grandmother had Alzheimer's disease and you nursed her and you started to feel good about helping her and you started to get an interest in Alzheimer's disease, become an expert in Alzheimer's disease. I tell new people all the time. How many new people here? Find a disease state that's near and dear to your heart, become an expert in it, and it won't take you more than a day, because most people don't know anything about that subject. So you can become a relative expert in one day on something. Go hang a note up at Vitamin Cottage and say, I'm going to give a free talk on diabetes, on Alzheimer's disease, on back pain, on anything that you like. Become an expert, and what that does is it allows you to give back. And people love it when you give them something. If you go up to somebody and you try to sign them up for a network marketing business, the reason they run away is because you're not giving them anything. You're taking from them. Of course they're going to run away. But if you know everything there is to know about their disease state or their mother's disease state or their kid's disease state, you think they're not going to want to listen to you? If you don't even know more than they know about their disease state, you think they're not going to want to listen to you? So I am not that smart. I just love the body. I became spiritual when I first took my first biochemistry course in pharmacy school. Let me tell you, when I first discovered how much is going on in our bodies from a biochemical standpoint, it's beyond awe-inspiring, and you don't have to be a doctor to appreciate it. In fact, being a doctor is probably a way to not appreciate it, because our medical model is based on something called clinical chemistry, not biochemistry. The chemistry of numbers, the chemistry of statistics, the chemistry of algorithms, the chemistry of risks and risk management. What are the three kinds of lies? Does anybody know? You know what they are? Lies, damn lies, and statistics. Because with statistics, you can manipulate anything. So we become intimidated because we don't know and we trust what we're told. So, what I really wanted to talk to you about here today is the idea that you do not have to be intimidated by health. I was talking to a gal before, she's gone now, but when I came in, and she said, one of the things I like about how you talk is you make it easy to understand. Well, it is easy. It's not complicated. There's this, the history of modern medicine. By the way, anybody read Dr. Walt's book, Epigenetics? Really, really cool book about the history of medicine from caveman days to today. And in medicine, we had a great advance that was made in history in what's called the High Middle Ages or the Enlightenment period, which is like the 1400s. Before then, medicine was based in superstition. It was based in beliefs and dogma. Sound familiar? There was an advance that was made in the Enlightenment period where we started to do things scientifically. We dissected things and we started to understand how the body was put together. One of the great advances was in something called nosology. If anybody here knows what that word nosology is, without checking your phone real quick, I'll give you 3 jugs of Beyond Tangerine for free. Anybody know? Nobody knows, right? It's a crazy word, nosology. Nosology is the science of diagnosis. The science of classifying diseases that has become so entrenched in our world that it's like a water to fish. Fish don't know they're in water, and patients don't know they're in nosology. They don't know that their health challenge has been classified and categorized and numbered, not for their interests, but for the interest of the insurance company, for the ease of medication, for to have a system in place to understand protocols and prognoses. And I'm here to tell you, if you are sick, it doesn't matter. Your diagnosis is irrelevant if you want to get better. And that is so empowering for non-medical people, everybody here who wants to deal with a health challenge. Health issues are not chronic, long-term health issues are not medical. I make that distinction because there are issues when you need a good surgeon. You break something, something falls on your head, something ruptures, you want to have some surgical procedures done. That's called heroic medicine, and medicine excels at that. It's miraculous at that. It's godlike at that. The things they can stitch back on are ridiculous. Ever hear John Wayne Bobbitt? Now, I didn't mean that to be a joke, but really, they put that thing back on and it was working fine. The things they can stitch back together and transplant and replace, and I mean, they have face transplants now. You heard this? There's a miraculous thing that the medical model has given us, but we have fallen prey to the spell of the miracles of heroic medicine, and we begin to apply it to everything. And we treat the doctor and the medical model as if they're gods, and we can't do anything. And I'm here to tell you that's not true from a recovery standpoint. It's simple, and beautiful thing about longevity and Beyond Tang and Tangerine is, for most people, they are so far down, so far underneath the curve that the tiniest little move they make is a step up. So for most people, they're so nutritionally deficient that you put Beyond Tang and Tangerine in their system, and it's like rocket fuel. You give them some of these basic general ideas that we talk about in longevity, and you change people's lives. And this is why longevity is such a powerful business, but we have to be confident that we can do it. So if you want to be healthy, and the body is completely, in a way, it's completely generic. There are specific differences, of course. There's biochemical individuality. Everybody has that, but we all have a heart, we all have a liver, we all have an intestine, we all have the same basic working parts. When the body breaks down, it breaks down generically. I'm talking about chronically, long term. There are certain things that break down in everybody, and I noticed this when I was starting to get out and do my presentations. I've been doing this, by the way, in longevity now for 20 years. I've been doing presentations for 30 years. And I started to notice patterns in people's disease states. The same fundamental breakdowns were occurring underneath everybody, which means that if you can address these same fundamental breakdown patterns underneath, you could reverse anything on top. If you could understand these same basic breakdown patterns that are underneath. And the cool thing about it is it's simple. And the even cooler thing about it is, as soon as you make the tweaks and make the adjustments, results are instantaneous, like the plant that Dan was talking about. You water it, you put sunlight on it, you put it in the right soil, and you don't have to worry about it, it's going to grow. Once you make the correct changes at the bottom, underneath the disease state at the top, or the complaint at the top, you get changes instantly, guaranteed, automatically. So what I noticed was there's 3 points of breakdown that underlie all health challenges. And the cool thing about these 3 points of breakdown are, we don't need a doctor to fix those. In fact, there's nothing a doctor can do to fix those. In fact, the doctor can only make it worse. I'm a pharmacist telling you this. And as a pharmacist, I'm privy to one of the major tools of the medical model, which is drugs, which cannot and can never reverse chronic degenerative disease. Probably in this room you already know that, but out in the world people don't know that. So what are these 3 points? I call it the triangle of disease. The triangle of disease are the 3 points that underlie all health challenges. The good news is they're very easy to fix. The bad news is if you don't fix them, you can't work on top. So think of a triangle. And then all the disease states, whether we're talking cancer or heart disease or autoimmune disease or any other health challenge, are all secondary. The 3 points on the triangle of disease, and this is everybody who has a health challenge. Everybody who has a long-term chronic health challenge, 100% of the time, no exceptions. The bottom of the triangle, the fundamental point of the triangle, is the digestive system. And all you need to do is start working on the digestive system, and you'll start to notice improvement to the point where you fast. If you fast, almost all health challenges will begin to subside. Now, you obviously have to keep eating, but it will just give you an indicator of how powerful eating is. And it should make perfect sense, even though it doesn't. We have a saying or I have a saying on my radio program we talk about. I say, all disease is cell disease. All disease is cell disease. Nobody has breast cancer. Nobody has liver disease. Nobody has neuropathies. We have nerve cell disease. We have breast cell cancer. We have liver cell disease. All disease occurs at the level of the cell. The cell is fed through the blood. The bloodstream is the life. It's in the Bible. The blood is the life. Blood goes from head to toe. It delivers nutrients. It delivers oxygen. It removes toxicity. All disease is cell disease, but all cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. And this is everybody who's got a chronic long-term health challenge. Dirty blood is the core of it all. Dirty blood is like clogged plumbing. Our diseases are plumbing issues, basically. To make matters worse, when the blood circulates, it generates an electrical charge that fuels the body. And as it becomes sluggish, we don't get fueled correctly. So the question is, how can we clean the blood? Well, how does the blood get dirty? Blood doesn't have access to the world, so it shouldn't be dirty. It's perfectly self-contained, except for it does have two places where there are openings. One is an artificial opening, and that's through the skin. We know that people who shoot things up through their skin or get vaccines are more prone towards autoimmune diseases, are more prone towards liver diseases, or more prone towards heart diseases because they're getting right into the blood. But for most people, that's not an issue. So what's the second issue? How else do things get into the blood? Food. Now, have I said anything medical yet? Have I said anything complicated yet? It's hard to understand. You immediately address the blood through the digestive system first on all health challenges. In fact, when I'm doing a three-way call, and by the way, I like to do three-way calls for you guys who are new in the business, but you should be able to do them yourselves. The first thing I do is I vest somebody in the process. People don't necessarily want to be healthy. And you will find that. There are ulterior motives for being sick. There are identification motives. We identify with our sicknesses. We get attention from our sicknesses. There's a lot of reasons. Don't assume that somebody wants to get better. In fact, Sanjeev kind of hinted at it. He said, I don't even talk to some people if they don't want to get better. And I completely understand what he's saying. You know, when I was out in the dating world, I had a really cool trick for never getting rejected by a woman. That's, you know, women got a lot of power over us guys here. You know, there's a lot of things that don't happen because guys are terrified. Well, I figured out a way to never get rejected. I would only ask people out if they already liked me. And that's the best sales advice you can get. You only want to approach people who are already open. You always only want to work with people who are already vested. And when I'm doing a three-way call or when I'm just talking to somebody, one person, I want to make sure they're just as vested in the healing process as I am. And you do that by first addressing their favorite, most special, most beloved aspect of livingness, which is food. If people aren't willing to change the way they eat food, they're not going to be able to get the maximum benefit from nutrients. They may be able to get a little bit of benefit if they're really, really deficient, but they're not going to be able to reverse their health challenge. So you always work with the digestive system first. You tell people you want to have people do a food diary. You have people take a couple of days off from food. Food holiday. You use Swero V. You guys know about the Swero V? I hope that's still available. Swero V Cleanse. You get people on a Swero V Cleanse, which is just Swero V, a half a bottle of Swero V every hour for 2 or 3 days. A Swero V Cleanse. You use the nightly essence to support the digestive system. You get people invested in the digestive system. That's the first thing you do, number one, because it'll really work. For most people, the source of inflammation is food. So as soon as they start to control the food, they're going to feel better. Number two, it gets your patient or your client vested in the process. So you're not pulling teeth trying to get them to do supplements. And then the second point on the triangle of disease is the blood sugar system. This is everybody who's got everything from arthritis to autoimmune disease to heart disease to chronic fatigue. You won't believe the letters I get. I get letters with histories that are 5 or 6 or 10 pages long. And you don't need any of that stuff. And you don't need a special multiple sclerosis protocol and a special Alzheimer's protocol and a special diabetes protocol. It's all the same thing. You work on the digestive system. The next step is you work on the blood sugar system. You work on the blood sugar system, obviously. The most important way is what? Food. Just keep your intake of fast-burning sugars and foods that spike your blood sugar down. And then you get on the nutritional supplements, the sweeties, the ultimate niacin, the selenium, ultimate selenium. If you want to go all out, go with the Fucoid Z or the what's the other one? Z radical, Fucoid Z or the Z radical. And then also there's a digestive connection to blood sugar. This triangle, these 3 points of this triangle are connected. The blood sugar system is affected by the digestive system. So you're already going to start to work. Just in these 2 steps alone, no doctors, no diagnosis is necessary, no long history is necessary. You're immediately going to change somebody's life, just with those 2 steps alone. And then the third point in the triangle of disease is the adrenal thyroid complex, what I call the adrenal thyroid complex. That's your stress management system. Calm the body down. There's lots of ways to calm the body down. The body has 2 ways of looking at the world. The body looks at the world as if it's a scary place, or the body looks at the world as if it's a friendly place. Albert Einstein said, if I could ask God one question, I ask him, is the universe a friendly place? And we're all asking that. As you're listening to me, you are asking yourself subconsciously if I'm safe. Hopefully by now you believe it, but when you first saw me, that was the first thing that went through your mind. Women especially, not just for me. Women are learned to do that. You know, women learn to do that because men are so awful, basically. I don't know why women ever go out with me. Statistically speaking, we are the worst thing that could possibly happen to a woman.
Third line.
We're the #1 cause of misery and mayhem in a woman's life. In any case, women are designed to, and we all are, but especially women, because it's a dangerous world out there for women especially, but we all look at the world, is it safe, is it not safe? And when the world is not safe, a part of our neurology kicks in that shuts down healing. A part of our neurology kicks in that keeps us from sleeping. A part of our neurology kicks in that keeps us from being fertile. A part of our neurology kicks in that keeps us from being creative. A part of our neurology kicks in that makes our blood pressure go up. A part of our neurology kicks in that shuts down our digestive system. A part of our neurology kicks in that makes it impossible to have a long, full, happy, content, and successful life. Does this sound familiar to anybody? All our health challenges have an aspect of us looking at the world in a fear place, from a fear place, not from a love place, not from a happy place, not from a successful place, not from a safe place. In the Bible, or not in the Bible, but religious people will tell you have to be saved, right? You have to be safe. Your body has to be safe. Your neurology has to feel like it's safe so it can expend resources on digestion. So it can expend resources on healing. So it can expend resources on growth and repair. It's a vicious downward spiral because the sicker you are, the more scared your body gets, and the sicker you get, the more your cortisol and stress system kick in, and then the more your healing shuts down, and the more sick you get, and the more scared you get, and you get this downward vicious spiral. So breaking that spiral becomes really important. Telling the body it's safe, there's lots of ways to do it. One of the fastest ways to do it is to practice SDR breathing. Slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. All 3 of those are important. If you're just slow and deep but not rhythm, that doesn't work. If you're just slow and rhythm but not deep, that doesn't work. You gotta have all 3, slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. For you guys who feel like you can't breathe, and some people really can't breathe, some people have a problem breathing, here's a really quick way to hack into your breath. And by the way, blood pressure is a classic indicator of your, this is called, this whole nervous system, fear nervous system, the safety nervous system, are collectively called the autonomic nervous system. And one of the fastest ways to hack into this fear safety nervous system is to take a warm bath. Women know this intuitively. When they're stressed, go right to the bathtub. Men are so disassociated from their bodies, they would never do it. Never hear a man say, oh, I had a bad day, I'm gonna go take a bath. No, women say that all the time though. But we all could do it because when you're in a bath, your body thinks It is in the last safe place it ever was. The womb. Exactly. That's the last time for most of us. What a statement that is, right? That's the last time for most of us we were perfectly safe. We were perfectly peaceful. The womb. In fact, if you don't want to go take a bath, and you will do this anyway, if you get totally freaked out, really, really badly freaked out, you will do this automatically because your body knows. You will go into a fetal position. You will immediately go, if it gets bad enough, you will curl up like a fetus because that tells the body somatically, in terms of the body, that you are now safe. You'll lower your blood pressure, your immune system will go up, every marker of health will improve. Digestion, fertility, creativity, all the things we love about life are activated by the safety nervous system. So learning to activate the safety nervous system becomes critical. Over the course of time, as we run in this emergency mode of being, the thyroid starts to slow down. Hypothyroidism and hypercortisolism go hand in hand. Elevated cortisol and elevated and depressed thyroid go hand in hand. From hypothyroidism, everything is possible, and guess what? You don't need to have your thyroid tested if you have a health challenge. Guaranteed you're hypothyroid. It doesn't matter what the tests say. That's why a lot of people go take the test and they say, well, I came back normal. Right? I love it when they say, you know you're sick, but the tests are normal. Right? That's like you go to a restaurant and you eat something, you go, that tasted awful. And the waiter says, what do you mean? Look at the menu. It says, delicious, right here. This is yummy. What are you talking about? No, can't you read? It says delicious on the menu. That's when we believe the numbers rather than our own body, that's what that's like. So if you're sick, you've got a thyroid issue. If you've got a thyroid issue, you've got something going on with the triangle. That means what I just talked about in the last 20 minutes is something you could all utilize in your next nutritional call. You stabilize the digestive system by having people do a food diary, starting off with a cleanse or a fast, ideally. By the way, there was just an article that somebody just texted me. Autoimmune disease is now linked to the what's called the microbiome. Anybody know what that is? The microbiome, the gut. I've been saying that for years. Don't wait for it to become official in the New York Times. This is just common sense. Did I say that it wasn't common sense? It didn't make sense at all? So you work on the digestive system by doing a swear-will-be cleanse, by fasting, by using nightly essence, ultimate enzymes. If you want to get extra stuff, get some apple cider vinegar. You can even have a doctor prescribe hydrochloric acid drops for you. Eat fermented foods. Eat little foods. You guys all know about the keto diet, right? Where's Farmer Glenn? Is he here? Farmer Glenn. Here Farmer Glenn. Farmer Glenn was here. He's gone. Here. Lost a bunch of weight. I think Tom also lost a bunch of weight on the keto diet. It's the ideal way to eat. Anybody, you all heard the keto diet, right? It's not complicated. What's the most important part of the keto diet?
Fat.
Nope. That's part of it, though. Sure. Say louder. Calories is the most important part. It's the part everybody misses. The keto diet is a low-calorie diet. The keto diet is a 1,200 or so calorie diet. That's the hard part. Yes, a lot of it has come from fat and very low carb and some from protein, but the key is the low carb. It's the ideal way to eat for everybody, but especially if you have a digestive health issue. So probiotics, fermented foods, just do the whole digestive thing. I don't have time to go into it. Like, how many of you listen to my radio show, The Bright Side? We talk about this all the time on The Bright Side. Okay, and then the second stage of the point is the blood sugar. To me, blood sugar problems are the most tragic of all because every single disease is connected to them. Every single disease is a derivative of blood sugar problems. You notice I did not say diabetes. There's no such thing as diabetes. There's diabetes-ing at the end of the word. It's a verb, like it's raining. Diabetes is the weather. 10 minutes. Diabetes is the weather of the inside of your body. It's the climate of the inside of your body. And the biochemistry occurs in a climate of diabetes, where when you're diabetes-ing, everything upstream will be affected. Nobody has diabetes when they don't eat. Your diabetes is only the result of something you're eating. And this is so tragic because on the one hand, every disease is connected to it. And on the other hand, it's as simple as changing your food. Is that not somehow, is that confusing at all? I can't understand why that is such a big problem, but it is. Diabetes doesn't happen unless your blood sugar goes up. And for the most part, there's few other reasons, but for the most part, your blood sugar goes up and down based on what you eat. Now, nutritional supplementation can go a long way towards helping your body process sugar. Sweeties, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, which is a source of B vitamins and electrolytes, the ultimate niacin, the ultimate selenium, all the sulfur ingredients, fiber, make your own fiber, grind flax seeds in a coffee grinder. Before you start your meals, do some flaxseed liquid, put a little cinnamon in there. Do chia pudding, fiber mops up excess sugar. After you eat a lot of sugar, go take a walk. Jump up and down on a rebounder, your muscles will suck up that blood sugar. After you drink a lot, after you have a sugary or sweet meal, you fall off the wagon, drink a lot of water, you'll dilute your blood sugar. All of these are great strategies first thing in the morning because your blood sugar tends to be more concentrated first thing in the morning. So first thing in the morning, take a walk. First thing in the morning, drink more water. First thing in the morning, do your sweeties and your Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Especially after meals, though. And last but not least, calm the body down. Relax the body. Now, getting on the Healthy Start Pack is one way to help calm the body down because the body feels like it has enough resources. It's calm. So getting on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Healthy Start Pack and a good nutritional supplement program can go a long way towards lowering cortisol. But practice your slow, deep breathing techniques. Take hot baths. Take hot showers. Do body work. Get massages. There's all kinds of ways. Even practice a progressive relaxation, starting with your toes, working up with your head. Anybody who has insomnia has a cortisol issue. How many people have sleep problems, do you think? Have you noticed how many mattress commercials there are out there now? It's like mattress commercials everywhere. When did mattresses become a thing? Because we're all having problems sleeping. Snoring devices. You ever see all the snoring devices that are out there? And by the way, if you snore, that's a classic way to start an emergency reaction going on in your body. Work on your breathing at night. And you know what else? Those CPAP machines that you see people with, everybody benefits from those. Athletes use them on the sideline. Things like it. Oxygen's important for everybody, oxygenation. So what I want you to understand as I wind down here is that I've been studying this a long time. You guys can't duplicate it. You don't need to duplicate it because in 20 minutes, I just told you all I need to know to help 90% of the people you're going to face. The biggest challenge you're going to have is the way people are listening to you. Like Dan was saying, there's 3 ways people listen. People can listen from an open-minded place, which hopefully you guys are doing today, and that's the way you want to learn. People can listen from a disagreement place, and that's okay too, because maybe they have another opinion, they've studied the matter more, and they believe what they have to say. The worst place that people can listen from, and this is where most of your customers are going to be listening from, and just be aware of it, and you can either address it or not address it, is they're going to be listening from, I already know that. And as Mark Twain said, it ain't what you know that's causing a problem, it's what you know that ain't so. And other than that, other than somebody who's listening from, I already know that, I already do that, there is absolutely no way this message that if you heard me say it in the last 20 minutes, there's absolutely no way that you can share that with somebody and that they won't benefit. And when they benefit from it, you will benefit from it. Not only financially, they'll buy your product, they'll be part of your business, but psychically. Oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, sense of success, sense of reward. When we share, we care, and we connect. And that's really what it's all about. And network marketing gives you an opportunity to do that. So that's it. Thank you guys very much. Hopefully I'll see you in another talk. And then also check out the bright side every day. We talk about this kind of stuff every day. Thank you very much. Insomnia, relax.